Hello everyone. In this video I will show you guys what's inside this 26 decibel GPS timing antenna. So, without further ado, let's begin. You may need the following items to take this apart. This is not an exhaustive list, nor is this a perfect list. There's other items that you may need, or things on this list you may not need, due to perhaps it being less advanced than other possible methods. However, this is the items that I found useful to take this apart on my side. Just a simple Phillips head bit here, and this is a pH number 1. It's not showing, but a pH number 1 bit, as well as just your typical flathead. Just a small micro-sized one, just so you can get into some spots that are normally harder to get into. The first step here is just look at it. So as you can see, it says it's broken and it's scrap. And now I got this from someone down the street. It was just a neighbor, and they said that their kid actually ended up destroying this whole thing by wanting to see what was inside it. So as a result, they ended up having to mark it as broken, and they ended up ripping off the antenna on accident. So basically, it becomes just a piece of junk. So they gave it to me, knowing that I collect some electronics and other various scrap metal, and they wondered if I wanted it. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So they gave it to me. And so that's basically the origin story of this thing. Now this thing is a GPS timing antenna. Now GPS timing antennas I'm not quite sure about, so I went ahead and looked at a report on it. So I will show you that right now. So I have pulled up the actual datasheet on this antenna. So it is a 26 decibel internal amplifier, and once again, this is what it looks like. It is RHS verified, so it's compliant with modern safety standards for toxic materials. It's made by PCTEL, and it is a GPS timing reference antenna with a 26 decibel internal amplifier. And this is it says here that the GPS TMG26 timing reference antenna features a 26 decibel amplifier specifically designed to support long-lasting trouble-free deployments in congested cell site applications. So in general, if you have a whole group of different, antennas or other various components all working together in a cluster, it basically, there's interference between other antennas in the cell site, the cluster. And this has a special component inside that can help reduce the interference and issues caused by it in the particular application, the site itself. And it says it sheds water and ice due to its unique radome shape, and it eliminates problems associated with bird perching, because you don't want birds on your antennas, your expensive equipment. And the antenna may be purchased by itself or with pipe mounting hardware. So yeah, and it says here the antenna is made of materials that fully comply with provisions stipulated by the European Union Directives ROHS, which is the Restriction of Hazardous Services Directive, made in 2002. And yeah, so here there's also, you can find just information on the configuration and such, and what kind of options you got and everything. So yeah, basically the only color you got here is white. So it also tells you the frequency range, and there's only one model in this group running at 10 megahertz range. Actually that's a deviation, so it's a 1575.42 megahertz with a 10 megahertz deviation. It gives you the gain and such, but I'm not quite 100% sure. And it tells you how much current and such. So it tells you what your input is, which is 3.3 to 9 volts regulated DC. And tells you what bands it rejects and all these kind of things. So I'm going to go ahead and link this in the description below, and you can check it out if you're into that kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's get into the teardown. So let's begin. Once again, as you can see, it says broken scrap on here. It also says bad on the bottom, so in general this isn't worth reselling. Plus, if you can hear, I don't know if the microphone picks it up, but you can hear something rattling. So I don't know what that is. We'll have to find out, and the only way to find out is do a teardown. So yeah, normally for this kind of equipment, sell your equipment or telecommunications equipment, it's a very good idea to try selling this online first, because these can come in fairly high prices. This particular one I found to be about $50 selling on eBay, so yeah, if this wasn't broken, I would have tried to sell it on there, but yeah, sometimes you just can't get good stuff in the best condition. So yeah, anyway, so here is a red plug end cap protecting a little antenna connector. So that's basically where you would plug in the main bottom part of the antenna. So there's another component that plugs into this. There's nothing that I have with me that would contain that particular item, so it's mystery. It looks like almost like a little antenna connector. I'm not sure what it is though. Anyway, so all there is 6 screws on the bottom all around, and that can be undone very easily with a screwdriver. So all you gotta do is just undo it, and yeah, the screws feel very, very light, like not very much pressure I need at all to just undo these screws. So yeah, someone has definitely gone in here and done something to it. That's 3 of them out. Normally these would be sealed on very tightly due to this having to be outside, and then a watertight seal would have to be put in here. This one is actually almost stripped. They somehow got it out. Okay, last screw comes right out. Okay. Oh my. So this appears to be the antenna itself, but it appears to have been removed and broken off, and only attached with tape, which is a shame. So that's why it wouldn't even work in the first place, because these solder connections itself have been broken, and there's a lot of deep scratches in that plating on the back of this board. So this is basically what we got. Got ourselves a antenna. I don't know much about antennas, but you know, there's some unusual traces there, which is RF stuff, and I have no idea. And it also appears that it has actually been compressed too, so it's actually damaged even further than I thought. There's actually some tape that isn't been there in the first place, it seems. Doesn't look like they put that on. Anyway, we'll look at this unraveled later. But we're going to get to the good stuff here. Now, this is actually kind of disappointing. It's kind of sad, hard to look at, but there are some very deep scratches there. You can see it in the light. And yeah, the entire screw has actually been ripped off, so it's a damaged screw. It was stripped so much, I'm guessing that they just tried pulling it off, but the rest of them can still be undone with a little bit of work with this screwdriver. These are on a bit tighter than the other ones. Still, definitely not as tight as they could have been. Also, I noticed that there's no, all the grease has been wiped off too, and there's no O-ring seal. O-ring seals are very important in outdoor electronics to protect from moisture and to ensure watertight connection. So, yeah, it's definitely been pried at. You can even see some of the residue where an O-ring seal once was. So, it's pretty sad. But we can see what it looks like under here by using just a flathead. Just by putting it at the side, it comes right out. And we got ourselves our main board here. And we got our connection with one golden pin. This one golden pin mates with this gold connector right in the middle. And that's what goes right out to the back. So you can see just this is all solid aluminum, of course. You can see the CNC, I believe, the machining. They've actually carved out this groove, this whole, I guess, pocket. So, a little interesting. I always like some nice machined work. So yeah, there's not that much information about this board. There's a lot of surface mount components on here, and it's just not that much information to really talk about and know about this board here. There does seem to be a little filter there to do some filtering for RF stuff, I'm guessing, and also two very small crystal oscillators. They most likely do timing. But there's no major chip manufacturer logos or anything, so there's really not that much to report about. There's a lot of MLCCs everywhere though, so I mean that's something. But other than that and that little tiny gold connector, there's really not that much scrap value about this thing other than a bunch of aluminum and a little gold connector there. So once again, looking at this antenna here, I just want to show you what it looks like opened. So there's this copper band here, but on the inside there's actually some copper traces guiding where all the basically information will be sent here and there. Just a guess, but yeah, just wanted to show you that. Looks pretty cool. So yeah, in short, definitely try reselling this if you can, but if not, you got yourself a bunch of plastic, a little bit of aluminum, and actually kind of heavy, and you know, some circuit board and some connector. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good day.